Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Rick, and on this part of my channel we talk about making curries. And today what we're going to do, we're going to talk about pre-cooked chicken, the chicken that you actually put in your curry. Okay, there's a lot of tosh on the internet of people cooking pre-cooked chicken, and they all say, and this is how we cook it in a BIR, a British Indian restaurant or takeaway, and then they show you how to cook 2 chicken breasts. Now if you're going to cook 2 chicken breasts, you might as well cook 2 chicken breasts at home and cook it fresh with your curry. If you're going to pre-cook chicken, pre-cook the chicken, okay? I put it to anybody out there that runs an Indian restaurant or takeaway, let's see how you pre-cook 50 kilos of chicken. Now some of these people are cooking 2 chicken breasts and they say this is how it's cooked in an Indian restaurant. Okay, they try a first fry with onions and garlic and tomato puree, spices and all the rest of it, cook the chicken in it, then they put water in and boil it and all sorts of stuff. Okay, now that's okay with 2 chicken breasts, but how do you cook 50 kilos of chicken like that? Okay, I'm going to show you an easy, quick way of cooking chicken breast for your curries, which is an awful lot safer for you to use at home if you decide to cook in bulk. So let's show you how to do this. Is get a pan. Now you use any pan, okay? If you're cooking 3 or 4 chicken breasts, you're obviously going to use a small pan. Get a pan, okay, and to the pan we're going to add some dry spices and some water. We'll put it to boil and then we'll cut our chicken. Okay, so let's set up the pan for boiling and get the pan to boiling and then cut and cook our chicken. And to the pan we need to add some dry spices. Okay, now this is star anise. Put some star anise in your pan. Up to you how much, depending on how much you're cooking. We're going to cook more than 2 chicken breasts anyway. Okay, now you can put cardamom in the water if you want, and I'm going to use Thai cardamom. We talked about this the other day. Okay, green cardamom is too expensive. So there's some Thai cardamom. Okay, and then we want to put some cinnamon sticks in. There's our cinnamon sticks. So that is all that's in this pan. Okay, nothing else. And then we add water. So we'll put our water in. Okay, so we get some water in. We need to add some salt. So add a little bit of salt. I'm going to add a chef's spoon. Okay, and then we add turmeric. Okay, so the spices in there and the salt are going to give us a little bit of flavour on our chicken, and the turmeric is going to turn the chicken yellow. Now you don't need too much turmeric, and obviously you're going to use less if you are actually cooking at home in a smaller pan. Okay, so that is our yellow spicy water, or a little bit of salt in there, water, and then we need to put it on the boil. That's all we need to do. So let's get this on the boil. Right guys, the next stage is actually to cut our chicken, okay? Now I'm using chicken breast, and I will be wearing gloves for cutting chicken. But again, that's up to you. Okay, now I will be So here's our chicken. Okay, chicken breast. If it's got skin on, take the skin off. I keep the skin for my dogs. I boil it up and they love it. Cut the chicken any way you want, okay? Now I'm not going to teach you how to cook chicken, okay? But depending on where you buy your chicken from, you know, if it's a chicken breast, if it's not been boned out properly, you could have a bone on the side like that there. So what you need to do is just rub your fingers down the chicken breast and see if it's been boned properly. You don't want to be putting that bone in your curry. So chicken breast, cut it any which way you want, but I will show you how I cut it, okay, to get the most out of my chicken breast. There's a chicken breast, you have that fillet end down there, there's a breast meat, okay. Now you can either cut down there, which is a line guide, okay, so then you've got that, but you've got this now, okay. So anyway, let's just trim that off, put that in there. Right, now you can cut the cubes of meat into what size you want, alright. So I'm just going to cut that like that, and I'm going to cut that like that, and like that, okay. Oops, there we go. Okay, we want, so I like some decent chunks of chicken in my curry, okay. I don't like little bits, so let's show you that again. Okay, there's a chicken breast. Let's have the skin off, okay. We don't want all that fatty rubbish. Rub your fingers down it, make sure there's no bone left in anywhere, okay. So what you can do, you can cut straight across there and throw that in, but now you've got a small piece of chicken, alright. So straight across, okay, and all this here, look, you see you've got this big piece, you can, or you can just, it doesn't really matter, it's up to you. So let's just cut some more, take the skin off, okay, check it, no bones in there, okay, and then straight across there, straight across there, straight across there, okay, and then you end up with some nice size chicken pieces, okay. I like some chicken chunks in my chicken. Okay guys, I'll just carry on cutting the chicken, and then when I finish the chicken I'll show you the next stage, okay. There we go guys, there's our chicken cubed up, ready to go in the pan, alright. I'm saving these 5 chicken breasts, I'm roasting those later for chicken sandwiches during the week. But there you are, 7 kilos of chicken, okay. Not 2 chicken breasts, there's 7 kilos there, okay. This is a 9.5 kilo bag of chicken, and there's 5 chicken breasts left in there, big, so that's quite a lot of chicken. Okay, let me clean up and then we come back. Right guys, then all we do then is transfer our chicken to our boiling turmeric spiced water. So you transfer it any which way you want, but you've got to get that chicken into there. So let's do that. And then just give it a stir around and bring it back to the boil. So what we're going to do now guys, we're going to reboil this spiced water with the turmeric in, okay, which will cook the chicken. Now it'll only take about 10 minutes, you know, to cook this. There's only a small amount of chicken in here. So it'll take about 10 minutes. And in between what we'll do, we'll give it a couple of stirs, just so it's all distributed all the way through. That's all. Okay, and then when the chicken's cooked, and then we'll take it out. Okay guys, what we'll do now is we'll just check a bit of chicken, see if it's cooked. Okay. Split the chicken open, and as you can see, it's cooked already. That is completely white inside. It's soft, moist, not a problem. So we can take this chicken out. Let's try not to get burnt. And what we're going to do is take our chicken out of there and put it in our tray. Drain the water, we don't want the water. There we go, chicken cooked. But you can see how those enormous pieces of chicken have actually come down to a more manageable size to eat in your curry. There's our cooked chicken, pre-cooked chicken. Now this is ready for service already, okay? You don't have to do anything else if you don't want. So let's talk about the procedures that people try and show on the internet and why. So they do not explain why. So let's talk about why some takeaways, restaurants, and people on the internet try and tell you to do a next stage. Right guys, there's our pre-cooked chicken. That is ready for service straight away. Okay? That is absolutely perfect pre-cooked chicken. Okay, take any piece, open it up, it's white, and as you can see, if I can get in there, it's soft and it's juicy. Oh, I don't know if that's focusing, but it's soft and it's juicy. Okay, now what does it taste like? Tastes like chicken. Tastes like chicken, mildly flavoured, and obviously it's yellow from the turmeric. Absolutely perfect, all ready for use, ready for service straight away. Okay, now the things that we need to talk about, which people do not talk about at all, and they only show you 2 chicken breasts, okay? There's a couple of chicken breasts in here, already pre-cooked. This is ready to go. In fact, we might knock something up anyway, just to show you. Okay, so this is all ready to go. Nothing wrong with this. Right, the next stage that everybody tries to show you on the internet, okay, they try to show you cooking up a spice blend of garlic, ginger, tomato puree, mixed powder. Basically the start of a curry. Now if you're going to make a start of a curry, why don't you just cook your chicken at home? And what you do then is, if you're going to start your chicken fresh in your curry, you get your pan, okay, and then you put a little bit of oil in, you put your garlic, ginger in, give it a little stir, okay, in with your mixed powder, and then in with your chicken, your raw chicken. Stir it all in with all the powder and the garlic and ginger, and then add a splash of water, okay, because you're pre-cooking your chicken actually in your curry before you start with the curry base. So add a splash of water. 2 things, it helps not burn all your spices and things in your pan, and it also helps to cook through with the chicken, okay, it keeps everything loose in the pan. Alright, so that is your pre-cooking your chicken actually before you cook your curry in the same pan. Now, the way everybody tries to tell you on the internet and doesn't explain why, they cook the chicken. Now, whether you boil it like this and just use this chicken straight away in your curry, which is not a problem, or they do a pre-fry, okay? Like I say, they do a pre-fry with garlic, ginger, tomato paste, everything else. Then they put that into a pan of water, then they boil the water, then they put the chicken in the water, stir it all up. So now we're back to the same thing as having a pan of spices, or more or less, a pan of spices boiling in water, and then we put the chicken in, okay? So they're pre-cooked that way, we've pre-cooked this way. The next stage of cooking your pre-cooked chicken that everybody tries to tell you, even though they only cook 2 chicken breasts, and don't cook 40-50 kilos of chicken and show you, okay, they say then you make another fry, okay, you fry off your garlic, ginger, tomato paste, spices, everything else in some oil, quite a large amount of oil, and then they put some more BIR sauce in, and then they tip it all over the chicken. Now, that's all well and good, but do you know why that they do it? Because no one explains why, and I'll tell you why. It's called reverse marination or post-marinade. Now you can look it up on the internet, okay? This chicken is perfectly cooked. Nothing wrong with this chicken. Soft, moist, you can eat it, it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. But it's now not carrying very much flavour, but it's perfectly okay to eat. So what happens in a takeaway or a restaurant, the reverse marinade. So that's the idea of cooking up the spices and putting the oil and the spices all over the chicken. It's a reverse marinade. It has been proven by every food scientist in the world that it does impact flavour back into cooked chicken. Okay, it does, 100%. So it does impact flavour back into the chicken, but obviously it's got to sit there for some length of time before the chicken actually starts to take the flavours in. It doesn't just take it in straight away. The only other thing that people try and tell you, they say if it sits in the marinade, which they've covered over the pre-cooked chicken, it makes the chicken more tender. It doesn't, okay? That's a myth, alright? It makes it no tender than it already is, but it does impact flavour into the cooked chicken, 100% guaranteed. That's why they carry out the procedure of reverse marination, but they don't know why. They just tell you this is how it's done because this is how they've all been shown. But that's the procedure of reverse marination. Cook your chicken, and then you can cook your spices in some oil and tip the oil and all the spices all over your chicken, and it sits in there. The other thing with the reverse marination, that if it's sat in the chicken and it's sat ready for service in a takeaway or restaurant, and it's sat there all day in this oily, spicy, pre-cooked garlic and ginger mix, okay, what's going to happen? This is going to cool down, and the mix will become, or the mix will then get to a dangerous level where the bacteria starts to form, okay? So it can sit there all day. If someone's cooked it in the morning, sit there all day, and you've got a level of bacteria in here, okay? They are going to pre-cook it, they are going to cook it, but they're actually transferring this to the pan, okay? I would prefer not to transfer bacteria. Now, what you can do, and what I wouldn't recommend, is actually skimming off the oil from all of this after you've used all your chicken up, unless you boil or cook your skimmed oil at a very high heat. Okay, you need to either boil the contents of the marinade that's left in here, or you need to cook on a high heat, because if not, you are taking a level of bacteria to your curries, 100% guaranteed. You might not get poorly, you might get the shits. That's it, okay, in a nutshell. you are taking a level of bacteria from there to your curry. If you just spoon it off, throw it in your curry. Now, if you spoon it off and put it in your curry to start your curry, and not just add spiced oil afterwards, if you put it in to start your curry and you start cooking, fine, absolutely fine. Make sure you cook the oil out properly before adding any garlic and ginger or anything else to that pan. Okay? So by pre-cooking, by pre-cooking your chicken this way, and if you use it straight away, there's not a problem with this. Okay, and don't worry about it being dry or anything like that, because if you pre-cooked it and you're going to use it within an hour, it doesn't matter. You know, it's going to be fine in your curry. Absolutely not a problem whatsoever. And the other thing is, you know, in a takeaway, if they cook 50, 60, 70, 80 kilos of chicken, how long does it take to cook? To fry all the spices off and then add to a pan of boiling water, add the chicken and keep cooking the chicken and then coat it all in a spice mix. Okay? And how much of that spice mix and how much of that oil do they need to cover all their trays of pre-cooked chicken? There's a question that could be answered by someone out there who runs a takeaway or restaurant. It would be amazing to see. Instead of, this is how we do it in the takeaway, and show 2 chicken breasts. Okay, what a load of nonsense. So you cook your chicken whichever way you want. You either boil it like this, and this is ready for service, not a problem, straight in your curry. Or you pre-fry, add to boiling water and boil the chicken. So it's the same as this, boiled chicken, mildly spiced. Take your chicken out, and then you cook another spice mix with some oil, and you put it all over your chicken and let your chicken sit in that spice mix. Now, like I said, that is called reverse marination, and it actually does marinate the chicken. 100% guaranteed it will go into the chicken. It does not make the chicken any tender because it's already been pre-cooked. Do not be fooled. Okay? You have to keep it in that oily mixture for a long time before it really affects anything on the chicken. Okay, and if you're going to keep it safe, you have to make sure that that oily chicken mixture is kept at a proper temperature where bacteria cannot germinate, and obviously we don't want to make everybody poorly. Okay, so that's our pre-cooked chicken, guys. So simple, so quick, very easy. Okay, and this way you don't have all the oily gunge that you have to get rid of, because you can actually tip the water away. Not a problem. It's water, no oil. So it's up to you guys how you want to cook. This is pre-cooked chicken. Next thing is we'll have to show you how to cook it. Okay guys, what we're going to do, we're going to make a really, really simple BIR Korma, just to show you how to use the chicken, and we don't have to prep loads of ingredients for a korma. It's very easy, very quick. Okay, so what I've done, I've microwaved one of my bases from the other day, which has been frozen. So all I'm going to do is just tip this into here. So that's one of our frozen BIR bases. Okay, so what we need to do then, to make a very, very straightforward korma, is get rid of all these things. We need to grab a pan. Any pan will do. Okay, so we got our microwave base. It's not very hot, to be fair. So what we need to do to start our BIR Korma off is we want a chef's spoon of coconut cream powder. Okay, so it's a chef's spoon. in there. Nothing hard, nothing complicated. Okay? And then we want about half a chef spoon of sugar in the pan. Then we want about half a chef spoon of almond powder, ground almonds. Okay, so that's our sweetness in there. Okay, now you can give this a mix in, whatever. And we want to tip in some carnation milk. So just tip a bit of carnation milk in there. And then we want to get this on the flame. So mix that up, nice and steady, nothing complicated. Okay, and then that goes on our flame. So what we're doing, guys, is we're just dissolving the coconut powder, sugar and almond powder into our pan. Now it doesn't have to be too hot for this particular process. We're only making a korma, so we want it nice and steady. And then we just want to add some chicken. Put some chicken in. So what we got there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of chicken. And then we want to add some curry base. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a ladle, maybe a little bit more, of our BIR curry base. And then we're just going to cook it in. Nice and steady. Now I like a little bit more sauce, so I'm going to put in another ladle of curry base. And that's it, guys. All we do now is just cook it in until it thickens up. As you can see, guys, it's starting to thicken up quite nicely now, look. Beautiful. Now don't forget, you're in complete control of how thick you want your curry to go. I want this a bit thicker. So we're going to keep taking it down until it thickens up into a nice, gloopy, thick sauce. So this has got to be one of the simplest curries you could ever make. Simplest BIR curry. There's nothing to it. You chuck some ingredients in the pan. No prepping really, because you've got the chicken. And you just cook it down to whatever thickness sauce that you desire. And what you should do with the korma, you should cook it down quite thick and then add either cream or, in our case, more carnation milk at the end to put that creaminess back in the dish. So as you can see, this is thickening up quite nicely. Keep turning it in as you're cooking, guys. You know, all this that sticks around here, you want back in here. It's flavour. going to take this down a little bit more, and then I'm going to add a little bit more carnation milk. Okay, that's thick enough. And then for me, a little bit more carnation milk. Stir that in. It's obviously going to loosen up the sauce. Stir that in. And then just cook it in a little bit. And then you've got that lovely, creamy, classic Korma BIR taste. And that's it, guys. That's the korma done. So turn off the flame. So let's take that from there. Put some curry base in or curry sauce in first. And then add your chicken. And if you wanted to, you could always put a bit of milk on the top. Oh, that's hot. Oh, let's give it a go, absolutely. And this is our pre-cooked chicken. Hot. Oh, oh, oh. Absolutely fabulous. Whoa. Oh, there we are. Right, guys, if you like what we're doing, don't forget, like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll catch you next time when we start making curries. So until then, take care.